Hi, I'm Tealish and you're watching Coffee and Clix. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and click on the link tree found in the description of this video for links to my media content. Enjoy, and don't forget, wake up and smell the Clix. Hi, I'm Tealish and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today joining us is Paul Cote from Team JSAClix. He's well known in the Heroclix world and he's also a fan of the show. By the way, yesterday was Hanukkah. For those who celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. For those who celebrate Christmas, well, the Advent season just started yesterday as well. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming unofficial Worlds online tournament sponsored by the broadcast show, Critical Clix, Clixed Off, and Majestics. We'll also talk about upcoming Heroclix sets such as Empyre, Disney Plus, and War of the Realms. There's a lot of stuff coming up, Eternals. So we're going to be talking about that stuff today. So the first topic, let's just jump right in. The first topic I wanted to talk about was the Worlds tournament, the upcoming Worlds online Roll20 Worlds. What are you anticipating?
As far as builds go, I think it's going to be one of the most diverse fields that I've seen for a long time, possibly since I've been playing Heroclix. But I do expect to see very high themes. Very high themes are have been doing very well in the events upcoming. Coming up to the big event.
So, Paul, I actually didn't. That you bring up a good point there. I wanted to ask you. So, how long have you been playing Heroclix, and you want to tell us a little bit about your history as a Heroclix player first?
So the first set I bought was EarthX. So I haven't been playing that long. I just kind of jumped into competitive pretty early on. So yeah, first set I bought with EarthX. That was that 2018, 2017, something like that.
I think so. That's about how long I've been playing as well.
Yeah. So the first, I basically EarthX just rotated out pretty recently. So yeah.
And so in your experience, you said that this has been one of the most diverse metas. When you first came into the Heroclix scene and you were playing with EarthX and stuff, what was the meta like then compared to now?
Yeah, so there was a lot more unthemed. I think the first one that won was that was during so I there was a lot of Hawkeye. Hawkeye retired just as I started playing.
Okay.
So I started playing competitively, and then Hawkeye retired, and then it was Kobek for a while. So Kobek was the big bad for a while. Then Unimind was still there, but a little not in his prime by that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Vulture was also the big deal.
Yeah, Vulture was big.
Yeah, and it feels like between that time and now, there's the top 5, top 10 figures of that time. There was a lot clearer of a top 5 or top 10. The Sandcaps and the really top tier figures. It seemed like it was a very clear, and now there's a lot of figures vying for that top 10. It's really hard to make a top 10 list.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree with you. I think today's meta there are so many good figures. You know,
Yeah.
I told one of my friends, I said, you know, anything could be meta, and he argued with me. He said, you know, that's not true. Meta means the most efficient tactics available, right? I think that's what it stands for, something like that, right? But you know, so there's got to be something that's cream of the crop, right? And of course, there has to be something that's cream of the crop, but I think it's harder to discern what that is now because there's so many good figures.
Right. And also just because so if something happens to fit within, like, if you take the best monster figures, you know, the Commissioner, Scarab, Sky Tyrant, etc., what fills out that team might not be the best figures um, in the meta available, but they're the best for that team. Like that team could just need a perplex really bad,
Right.
or just need a I guess it has prob and it has could need another prob and another leadership. So even though Venom Doctor Strange might not be the best in the meta, might be the best call for that one for that team.
Yeah, so certain figures
Badly.
are just needed for certain forces, certain teams. You know, it all depends, and there's so many different options
Yeah.
out there. You know, almost every. In other words, what the way I would put it is that almost every team, almost every figure in HeroClix has some sort of utility.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's great, and I love that for the game, you know, because you know I want to when I buy figures and when I pull figures from packs, I want to be able to use them, you know, and I want to have options for using them. You know, I'm for me personally, I'm kind of a collector. I like to get everything, but I also like to build teams with everything that I have. So you know, I typically I build teams for other people, and when we have in person play. And I like to have a lot of options available for myself. You know, and there's so many figures out there that you can use for so many good teams. They're not like, you know, you can build good teams using almost anything.
Yeah. And if you have like a bunch of Michael Jordans or whatever analogy you want to use, a bunch of stars, like there's only so many actions you can take, and there's only so many like only one person can have the ball in the metaphor. So you might want role players as well. Might want like just people there to do the other miscellaneous stuff.
I totally agree. You know, I had that experience just the other day. I was building a monster theme team, and I was looking for. I had a Sky Tyrant, Commissioner, Scarab, all those guys. I don't have two Scarabs, otherwise I would have played two Scarabs. But I only have one Scarab. But I have two Sky Tyrants, right? And so it's like, what do I do for this extra 60 points I had? I was like, I'll just throw another Sky Tyrant on there. But I also had Blackheart on there. So it seemed like I had so many like superstars on the team, and I didn't have enough actions. Like the second Sky Tyrant ended up not getting used really that much because
Yeah.
I had so many different attackers. So it worked but it was okay, but it didn't really work too well because I had too many attackers and not enough support.
Yeah, and there's also something that I like to talk about when people are discussing team building with me, which is diminishing returns. Your first prob is and your first leadership are insanely good. Your first perplex is good. If you already have three probs on your team, you might not need that fourth as much. You're not getting as much value, or you like especially leadership.
Yeah.
So you might want to perplex instead of a prob, and to make it more balanced, because eventually, because there are figures that nerf um, or make your probs less effective. So if you happen to run into one of those, you know, you really wish you had more variety.
So, I mean, with it, in regards to the upcoming Worlds tournament, then, you know, what kind of teams are you expecting to play? What archetypes? I think Caleb Reddick asked this question on our Facebook group, on the Coffee and Clicks Facebook group, which, you know, if you're not part of that, you should go check it out. But he asked a question: what archetypes will be played at the tournament? I mean, what are you expecting to see?
So I'm on either Monsters or X-Men. Um, and with a really high theme. Uh, I expect to see. You want me to go down all the teams I expect to see,
Well,
like top
okay.
five?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Sure. I mean, not I mean, just the ones that you think are going to be most played.
Monster, X-Men, and I think X-Men has and I think both of them have a couple different variants. There's what some vastly different X-Men teams out there, and there's some vastly different monster teams out there. Latveria, which is basically Bat Doom, um, since that's been like a really high profile team for a while. And Animals, the Tyler Spees version, also been really high profile. And then Scientists, I think, is also really high up there. Maybe more. If anyone, I don't know how many people are playing it though. I don't know if it's as high profile, but I think it's really high up. And
Um,
people will be playing uh, not Brotherhood, the other one. It's
Professor X swap.
not the Professor X swap, the Magneto swap. What?
Oh, Hellfire Club. Hellfire Club.
I think a lot of people will be playing that. I I think it'd be better off being a ruler team.
Okay. Oh, then Brotherhood swap.
Yeah,
Just straight up ruler team.
I think Jason Wingard doesn't do as well on a swap team, and I think that's the best figure in Hellfire and Brotherhood.
Okay. I mean, dude, I
He
mean,
wins three slides. Sorry.
Sorry. No, I mean, are those? Does that figure? Is that team centered around Blackheart or not really? Because I know you can do Blackheart for either Hellfire Club or X-Men, right? Or no?
For either Brotherhood or Hellfire. Yeah, they're
Or
usually
Hellfire, yeah.
around Blackheart. Um, I just think Wingard's really good, and I'd rather do a team based around Wingard and Blackheart than a team based around Blackheart and swapping.
Okay. Okay. And does Blackheart have the ruler theme? The
He has the
ruler.
ruler.
He
Yeah.
has ruler keyword.
Yeah. And there's also 10-point rulers to make it a +10 theme as opposed to a +6 theme, which I think is really important right now.
Brainiac, right? Or no?
Grodd and Proteus.
Grodd and Proteus. Okay.
Proteus.
And Proteus gives barrier too, so that's good.
Yes, barrier is really important right now.
What about Justice League? Do you think Justice League is a viable archetype? Because I know
Absolutely. I think Flash is one of those top figures for sure. I think there's multiple different ways to build Justice League. They have cheap figures that can compete for going first in map, which I think is really important right now. Batman Prime is really, really good. And they also just have the Micron Atom versions that are also really good.
yeah, Micron Atom, you have Superman, starter Superman with the influence ring. You have that the Giganta combo with the starter with the swapping Wonder Woman's, the shifting focus.
Shifting focus, yeah. And you can do Green Lantern TA with flashes. We've mentioned, we're kind of talking about three different teams here, which is why JLU is a little hard to talk about. Also, the Fulcrum's pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh, how about robot too? Is robot a viable keyword right now in the meta?
Yes, 100%, I believe. Okay, so I would be hesitant to play it just because I don't think the robots are quite as good as they used to be, because I think the meta's shifted a little bit, and Magneto, it's harder for Magneto to pick off two Colossals anymore. People have kind of gotten away from Wendigos and Dark Phoenixes and the things that I was looking to pick off when I was playing robots, and that I think most people were picking off. So I don't think he's quite as good anymore, Magneto. And it does feel like there's more flurry that can actually take down a Magneto or a Danger Room Mr. Sinister.
Mm-hmm.
But they can get up to a +10, which is pretty cool, and they have a lot of tools. I don't think this is the right time for them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, robots. I do understand that opinion for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people are not playing retail. Um, Retail is kind of like an option that is kind of like gets KO'd right away.
It's too fast. It becomes Sky Tyrant bait.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, if you can protect a Dark Phoenix, it can run a game. Absolutely, no problem. But that's a big if.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, so I mean, like a robot kind of is good against retail, but you're not going to see that much of it.
Exactly.
But and also you have Master Mold and you might have Fulcrum, and those are both kind of like one-click figures that are going to be easily KO'd. I mean, Master Mold's really good though, and in certain scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I wouldn't say. I'm sure you might find some Karima going around though, like if people are playing like Sentinel or something like that, because Karima with the Power Gem one shots a Blackheart, right? So
sure, yes. Mm-hmm.
And also goes through a lot of anything with stop clicks. So you can score some easy points that way. But I don't know. I think I agree with you. I don't know if robot is really totally the best right now.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really easy damage that comes by that they're just not as sturdy as they used to be, and they're not picking off as priority of targets as they used to. So I mean, there's plenty of other things that have been winning. Deity has been doing great because it can combine the Blackheart with the shifting focus Wonder Woman's and the Giganta. And it has 10-point figures that it can put on, so it gets pretty high. I think it's a +9-ish. So that's good.
I noticed that you keep saying, one of the things that you're kind of emphasizing is the map bonus. How important do you think the map bonus is?
It's very important right now. It's very important.
I mean, even with the rules change though, because the rules change makes it so that even if you have a high map bonus, you could still lose map because you're only getting a +3.
Yes. But like, so we mentioned a lot of swap teams.
Yeah.
So like if you're facing, so like my X-Men version has a higher theme than some of the other versions that have like 2 Kate Prides or have the cable clones or whatever. Whoever wins the map roll, it's not just the map that they get. It's not just the going first that they get. They also get to decide the order of the swaps, and that's really important because that means you don't give them a free perplex, and you get a free perplex.
Okay.
So that's a 2 perplex swing in your favor.
Wait, if you win. How does that work with the perplex? So can you explain that?
Oh, okay. So for Kate Pride, she creates a Lockheed at the beginning of the game.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if you have one, if you're going first, you get to decide the order that things happen. So you can generate the Lockheed, then swap her out.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't, they'll make you swap her out before you generate the Lockheed.
Okay.
So little things.
Potentially, if they have their own Kate Pride, then they're getting a perplex, and you're not getting a perplex.
Right.
Okay.
So, and it's not just that; it's also that you can tell them to swap first. You see, like if they have a Doom, and you go first, you can see what Doom they're swapping into before you decide your team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's very important. Okay.
So Yeah, so even though the map bonus has made it so it's not automatic, it's way less automatic. You only get a +3 maximum. There's little things like that that just and just the game is faster. That things just move across the map easier.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think? I mean, it's being that it's only a +3 to your map roll, and you're relying on that map roll with a swap team. Do you think swap teams are still like, are they risky to play with the swap team, or because what happens when you lose that map roll? Is it like you're that's it? You can't come back from that, or
If you're all in on, I think you just need to have a plan for if you lose map, and that's the gambit, right? Is that winning map means a lot, but then you also can't it's the multiple man math of like how many multiple mans do you put on your X-Men team to go first, knowing that if you don't win the map, then you have to play with that team and you have to find a victory while going second. So it's just something to think about, and it's why I don't like +6 swap teams.
okay?
That's basically what it comes down to, is just I don't see the point of a +6 swap team at this point with the meta that it currently is, with so many +8.
No, yeah, I think even a +7 is kind of risky. Yeah, because like most of the teams out there are +8, +9. You know.
Yep. Like at that point, might as well go unthemed or go She-Hulk or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, so you mentioned you might be playing X-Men. I mean, do you want to? I don't want you to give away your like secret tech for the tournament, but like, what are you working on? What is your team that you're working on?
So there's actually there's a few different X-Men versions, but recently I've been playing with Dark Beast, who I think is really fun. And so it's really fun. And I won a few small tournaments with it, 2 small tournaments with it. And I keep practicing with it to see if it's viable. And it keeps winning, and we're not sure why. Like it doesn't seem like it should be top tier, but it really has been testing very well. So currently that's kind of on the top of the list right now.
Cool. Yeah, no, I that's a figure that like you like to see do well, because nobody has faith in it, and like you want it to do well.
Yeah, so it was just like I want to play Fast Forces Geordie LaForge on the sideline because I like reading Rainbow. So I can experiment with Fast Forces Geordie LaForge and give my Dark Phoenix running shot, and that sounds fun. And then it like actually was winning. So like, so I need more testing to see if it actually is legit. Because yeah, giving Dark Phoenix running shot and then Tempo giving her +3 means she goes across the map.
Yeah, with an enhancement, heals up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
That's just fun. Yeah, Fast Force Geordie Forge is really good because Energy Explosion, because then you also can put Energy Explosion on Jubilee. You can also just take a generic Perplex, and you can make reading Rainbow jokes. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah. That's great. That's really cool. I mean, if you want to, maybe depending on how that team does, and if you play it at the tournament after everything's done, you come back on the show, and we could do like a team build report with that team. That would be really cool, because it sounds like a really creative team build.
Yeah.
But so how about non-theme? Do you think non-theme is viable in the tournament, or?
Yeah, I do. Which is probably weird to hear, because I just was going on about how +6 isn't very good.
Yeah.
But uh, I do think it's good. For a while, it was winning in Brad's tournaments. Like there was Mike won back to back. This was a while ago, but I think everything's still, the meta hasn't shifted too much since then. He won back to back, and then Josafa has played a few unthemed teams that won. I think they're just not played enough. I think people just don't like playing them. They like going first. They like doing their thing. They like being on the offense. And figures like Prisoner of Planet Doom or Harry Leland or Exodus, just the more defensive pieces, people just don't. I don't think that they're not good. I think people just don't like playing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, do you think personally that playing a theme team is more fun than playing non-theme?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think
and
having a theme is fun. Like,
it's a competitive game, but it's still a game. You know, like you're still like, I still like playing X-Men because I like X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely times where I try stuff, and that's why. So like that's why back when I started out this, I said the gap between the top pieces and the other pieces is now narrower now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you can just like, if you like Mojo, you can play Mojo even though he's not a top piece. He's still going to be fine. You probably do want a few Michael Jordans on your team. You know, you still want a few Flashes or Scarabs or whatever to go with, you know, to go with those other characters. But it is nice that there's a wider pool of things to play that are playable.
So, what do you think? I mean, speaking of those Michael Jordan figures, I mean, what do you think are the top figures in the meta right now that you would describe as like the number one Michael Jordan GOAT figures of the meta?
So weird because Scarab is up there and he's kind of a role player rather than like he's kind of a support piece. Scarab, Flash. It's a lot of the Wonder Woman 80 figures. Commissioner, Molecule Man. Wingard's still up there. Wingard, that seems about right.
So which one? Scarab, Molecule Man. Molecule Man, of course. I think Molecule Man is just like crazy good.
Man, I haven't said Sky Tyrant yet.
Sky Tyrant, yeah. Flash. I think Maggot is really good.
Yes, Maggots. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really hard to do a top 5 or top 10 list. Like, yeah, I think Wingard's still there. Maggot, yes, definitely. Dark Phoenix is such a big question. Dark Phoenix and Wendigo both have such a huge question mark of can you protect them? But if you can, they're amazing pieces. They're awesome.
Well, the good thing about Wendigo, I think Wendigo's actually better than Dark Phoenix right now because I think, you know, Wendigo's, first of all, mystical and monster is just really strong. And then Wendigos you can play in multiples and get the map bonus really high. And also you can play them in multiples and it's like a war of attrition. Like one of them gets KO'd and the other two come at you. Yeah. So
yeah, I'll be playing 2 Wendigos on my monster team if I don't play this X-Men team. That's what it's coming down to. And then I think Faust is really good. Faust is kind of a reason to. I think Faust is one of the reasons to play Unthemed.
Yeah.
Or Political. Yeah, but there's a lot of things you're leaving out by doing that list. Like I still left out Emperor Gladiator. I still left out.
Blackheart. Yeah, we talked about Blackheart.
Blackheart, the Dooms, Batman Prime. Like
there's many
going on right now. There's a ton of all-stars.
And so do you think if you looked at those figures, if we took a list of all the number one figures, those Michael Jordan figures, are any of them so bad that they need to be watch listed? Excuse me, watch listed. Any figures?
I think the fact that Flash is going to get a buff in the new pat or the new rules, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Flash maybe. I don't know. They all seem very close, and I think it would. Yeah, I think Flash would be the one that I would be the most concerned about because he's already top of the list, and I think this is going to be a significant buff to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if Flash is really deserving to be watch listed. I think he's good, but I mean, in certain situations, you can get around. I mean, he's like an auto include in some teams for sure. I think he's definitely the best Flash that they ever made. But I mean, I don't know because I haven't been around long enough to see all of the older Flashes and stuff. But I mean, I really like this Flash. I don't know if any figure really needs to get watch listed. Just simply based on what you said earlier about the meta being so balanced, about how there are so many good options everywhere. That I think. I don't know. Like you can KO Flashes with poison, right? Like you can poison them.
Yeah, they can be double poisoned. Yep.
They can be double poisoned. I just think there's like a counter to everything right now. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah. There doesn't seem like a team where if you are, if you know your opponent is playing, this is what I used to gauge, like if a team is too good. If you know your opponent is playing this team and you specifically build a team to beat it, you should be able to beat it. And I think it's true for every team in the format. If I'm specifically knowing you're playing that team and I'm building to beat it, I feel confident I can beat it.
Yeah.
But that's the gambit of, do you play to, there's too many valuable stuff out there for you to do that to just one team.
Do you think that the meta is kind of like rock, paper, scissors right now, or not really?
I mean, a little bit. I think it's also a lot goes to that winning map is that first die roll.
Yeah. So I've heard that said before. I've heard a lot of people say that the winning of the map is super important in today's meta. And I've heard actually suggested from Pat Yapoko. He recently put out a video for Majestics suggesting that they change the rules of winning map to the first player gets to choose to either win map or play first. Right. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, so I don't know if it's a problem that a large part of the game comes down to the map roll. And like I said, I still think it's really wide open. And I'd be worried about what other tactics would start to dominate the game if that rule came into place. I think it might actually narrow the field so that now it's just instead of a team that can go first and move across the map and Alpha Strike, it's a team that can traverse any map and still do the Alpha Strike. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In other words, I think the game is very balanced right now, and you just have to take that's a one of the parts of the meta right now is that they're really high.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And one of the things that I maybe feel, I'm not sure, is that as far as like the one rules change that I think maybe affects the that aspect of the game the most about winning map and everything is how alpha strikes across the map are so easy now. And I think that's largely due to the fact that you can carry without penalty. You can carry across the board without a -1, -2, or -3 like you used to.
I also think that Green Lantern TA should be uncopyable. That is a really strong team ability. You'd still have Underworld that's copyable. I think that's adding a lot to it. It just doesn't feel right, like either from a balance or from a these are Green Lantern rings. They should be pretty unique. You shouldn't just hand them out to any squirrel that, wait, no, it is a squirrel. You shouldn't hand it out to any Flash that, wants it or whatever, or Scott Porter.
Yeah.
Which is fun because you can then sidestep with him.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at the Green Lantern super rare. So he's got the Green Lantern team ability. He can running shot 5 squares carrying 8 people. Like,
yeah.
That's...
And then and then someone can copy that and sidestep back. Like, it's pretty wild what you can do with that.
I mean, and I like it it's weird because I like playing it. It's fun to play that and like, ooh, look, that's cool. I could do that.
Yes.
Of course, everybody likes to play that because it's easier to remember and it's more fun. But then it enables these like sick combos where you can go across the entire board.
Right, where Mary Jane Watson and Marvella are carrying a whole squad of people with their Green Lantern rings, and it seems a little ridiculous. Autonomously doing that too. Yeah, I think that's a change that they should look at, but I don't think that there's many changes that are needed. There's a few things that need some like wording clarification. There's that weird new title character that I just couldn't wrap my head around.
The new title character from Empyre, or
yeah, man, yeah. I can't even what it was. That was the thing I couldn't wrap my head around.
No, I can look for it.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the infamous Iron Man.
Sounds right.
The one that's like Doctor Doom / Iron Man.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that the top pieces, I think it's in a good state, and I don't see anything needing to be watch listed. But I do think that the Green Lantern team ability is something that might need to be looked at. I guess that's it.
So speaking of Empyre, then, what are your favorite figures that you have seen from Empyre so far?
Venom Magneto by a country mile. K is just really good. Has all the keywords I'm looking for. That is usually when a set comes out, there's like one figure that I'm like, that is absolutely the one that I'm going to be building around. And that's right now.
So here's Venom Magneto. You have him at 100,
points.
135, and 75.
Yeah.
Now, if you're building around him, what point value are you going to be looking at the most?
35.
35 points.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Although, I mean, it's cool. Also, he's not unique. So that's one thing that's really cool. So Venom Magneto at 35 points. He has 8 range with double target. He's 35 points. He has Brotherhood of Mutants and X-Men team abilities. Running shot with 8 speed. He's a flyer. 10 attack with a special. 16 defense with toughness. 2 damage with leadership. He has a trait, plasticity, and super senses. If Venom Magneto is within 4 squares and line of fire of an opposing character, he can't be targeted by range attacks. Another trait, symbiotic magnetic field, energy shield deflection, and passenger 4. So that's really cool. And then he has a attack power, telekinesis, and telekinesis as free. So you could do some shenanigans there because he can not only TK himself for free, or he could TK somebody else for free, and then he can use telekinesis as a power action. So you can double TK. And then he has a damage power that is on his second click, Leadership. When Venom Magneto uses it and succeeds, you may instead remove an action token from another friendly character with the monster keyword within range and line of fire, and give an action token to an opposing character adjacent to that character. That's if you get lucky enough to land on that click 7.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
So I mean, what are your initial thoughts about how to use Venom Magneto?
I mean, a free TK is just really good for. I think Monster is still like Sky Tyrant or Blackheart. Getting a free TK is probably the way I go with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think Ruler is also really good because I think Jason Wingard's. I think Ruler is the way to build Jason Wingard, and that's another way. Actually, every one of his he has 3 relevant. He has 4 relevant keywords. Because I just said Monster and X-Men were already the 2 teams I was looking at, and he goes onto both. And then Ruler is pretty good too. Ruler has a lot of the top pieces, and he has that as well. And then also Hellfire, which a lot of people are playing. Again, I don't think it's top, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong at this event, and one will take it all. So yeah, that's the figure I'm looking at the most.
Yeah, I mean, you could play 2 of him if you want to. Mm-hmm. Another cool thing, I mean, you could even almost do with him. I kind of tried to build around Venom Magneto before. I don't think it was like the best build ever, but I tried to build him around X-Men with like a bunch of maggots and do the same thing that the Animals team does, because he can free TK himself and then TK up or he can move up carrying like a bunch of maggots, and then he can free TK like Kate Pride or something like that up next to them, and then she can like move and carry them up really far, you know.
So so you're basically getting a double move. Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah, so that's something you could do with him. I don't know if it would work too well, but I mean, like, you could have that with, like, you know, Cape Pride has the Krakoan Revival. You can add Dark Phoenixes to that, and then you can have like some retail, and then, you know, when they kill the maggot, the eenies and the meanies, then Dark Phoenix comes over and retails. I mean, I don't think it would be meta, but I think it would be like something you could do for fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Venom Magneto is really cool.
Yeah. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the Captain America with the swap, because Avengers. So I think that's going to be played a lot. I still don't think you can get the Avengers theme count high enough, but
so let's say 40 points you would use them at, right? Or yeah. So here's Captain America at 40 points. I mean, I just want to show everybody Captain America's dial, because if you haven't seen it from the Scott Porter unboxing, which you should definitely go check out, here's Captain America's. This is super rare, set number 51 from Empyre. He's got 11 clicks of life at 100 points. Crazy dial. He also has traded leadership, and he has at the beginning of the game, you may replace up to 4 other friendly standard characters with the same number of standard characters from your sideline on their starting clicks. All replacement and replaced characters must have the Avengers keyword and different names. The total points of the replacement characters can't exceed the total points of the replaced characters. Now, that's different from the Professor X and Magneto swappers, because this one, you can't replace Captain America. It has to be other characters. So Captain America has to stay on the team. Yeah, but he's pretty good. I mean, he's got a running shot You know, ideally, if you're using him at 40 points, that way you get the most value from your other figures. At 40 points, he has running shot, ESD, and enhancement. So not bad, plus traded leadership. So, you know, he's not bad for 40 points.
He also can't swap in. He can only swap in or out standard characters. So like he couldn't, if there was a Giant Girl legacy card or whatever, he couldn't swap those in and out.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so he would not be able to. He can't swap out Colossals or anything that's not an actual standard character. Okay.
Yeah, but the other ones could, because Dark Phoenix was coming in and out all the time.
Yeah, I still think that's really cool, though. I mean, it's definitely a fun piece because, you know, just building an Avengers team that you can swap things in and out. It's just really, really flavorful from like a themey standpoint. I really,
Yeah.
I really
Oh
like
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
I mean, oh, go ahead.
So yeah, leadership, enhancement, and running shot. These are all good stats. 5 clicks long for 40 points. Like he's just a good figure on his own. He's completely fine. But Avengers have a lot of really good stuff out there, and they have a lot of good swap options because like you're looking for swaps, you're either looking for silver bullets, and Blade's a pretty good silver bullet against some of the meta right now. Or you're looking to get free stuff like Kate Pryde that spawns a Lockheed, or Peggy Carter that spawns a Becky Barnes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or Trinary that lets a robot come to your team for free. So you're looking to get something for free and then swap them out. But that's less. I just feel like swap teams are more effective when they have a higher bonus to go first. Otherwise, you're like, I'll swap in a Blade, and then your opponent. So your opponent makes you swap first. You put in the Blade, and then they can just take out their Blackheart, so that's no longer an option.
Right.
So they can counter the counters if they're going first, and I just don't see any cheap like 10, 15 point Avengers right now.
Yeah, and plus also this Captain America. I mean, he's great and all. I think he's a fun piece, but he can be easily one shot in a competitive game. He's only got ESD, 17 defense. That's it. So if he, Sky Tyrant just destroys him. But I mean, Sky Tyrant destroys a lot of things. So that's kind of
Sky Tyrant destroys a lot of things. Yes.
That's not a really good a good statement, I guess, because but I mean, I think if you have a good flurry or if you could just get 5 damage, you could take him out. I don't know. With a flurry, I guess you're probably gonna be going up on no, you probably with a flurry with like a 3 damage flurry, you're probably hitting click 4, and then you're hitting toughness. Yeah, so I don't know. He seems a little squishy, but I think he can with if you're playing really well and you're positioning correctly, then I think Captain America should be fine, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and he's only 40 points. So if you do flurry and kill, if you're committing your Sky Tyrant to killing him, like the Avengers team should be able to respond and do something for that commitment.
Let's see. Is there any other figures? Oh, so what do you think? I mean, it's not listed here yet on Clix Nexus. It hasn't been put up here yet, but it was really just somebody on Facebook just put this up today. I don't know if you saw it, but he just I think it was Instagram. He took a bunch of pictures of Empyre figures. He must have got them early somehow, and one of them was Venom Rogue. And Venom Rogue has a power where she can copy another power of a adjacent character. So and it
Yeah.
could be a friendly character. It does not have to be an opposing character, and it does not
Mhm.
say standard power. It just says power. So, and I'm sure that's going to get an errata eventually. But I mean, as of now, like, what would you do with that?
Copy a stop click.
Yeah.
Copy Blackheart stop click, and then get like I that is one that I feel like there needs to be a clarification on before we get too much into it, because it sounds like she could just copy a stop click.
Is it just does it say displayed power or just says power
Oh,
that
I don't remember.
yeah, I have to look it up.
But then
But
you could just like have a retaliator that has a display stop click and then copy that. And
and then she becomes a retaliator, right? Yeah, that would be
well,
fun.
no, she just has a stop click on every click.
Oh,
I, I don't
interesting.
I
Interesting.
don't know.
All right. Yeah, so that probably needs a lot of clarification.
Yeah, I feel like that needs to be clarified before any more discussion happens on it.
Okay. And let's see. Are there any other really cool figures? What did you think about the
There's a lot of
Wolverine?
little things that are like playable. Dazzler's fine, but like I don't see a lot of things like completely changing the meta or like um yeah, okay, Wolverine's pretty good too. Yeah,
Wolverine's a good one. So here, this one you can do pull some shenanigans with if you swap him in, right? So if you swap him in, then that beginning of the game thing never triggers, and you never
right.
have to choose a Wolverine's mark.
Which is good. You want that.
Yes, and you want that because okay. So here's Wolverine. He's a super rare, set number 52. He's 50 points, double target, 0 range, 8 speed with charge, 12 attack with blades, 18 defense with toughness, 3 damage with exploit weakness. So already he's got great stats for 50 points. He's got the shield, spy, and X-Men keywords. Really cool that they're introduced that they have a shield sub theme in this set. I'm not sure if it
Yep.
really fits with the Empyre storyline, but maybe. I don't know. I only
Remember
read
that in the storyline.
I don't remember that in the storyline, but so his real name's Logan. He's got a trait tracking the target at the beginning of the game. Choose an opposing character as Wolverine's mark. Whenever that character moves, after resolutions, you may move Wolverine up to 2 squares. If Wolverine's mark is KO'd, choose a different opposing character to be a new mark. Another trait, silently stalking. Wolverine can't be targeted unless he has made an attack this game or is adjacent to his mark. And then and that's the big one right there, because if he doesn't have a
Right.
mark, then he can never be adjacent to his mark, which means he can never be targeted. Period. You can't perplex him. You can't. They can't perplex him. They can't attack him in any way. He's just not target. He can't be targeted. And then but of course he can't make an attack, because once he makes an attack, then he can be targeted again. But you could give him something that gives him poison or something like that, and then
Yeah.
if you give him poison, or if you give him like the ultimate nullifier, then he's able to deal damage without making an attack. And then he has another trait, I heal to you. When Wolverine hits after resolutions, he may use regeneration as free. Okay, so I mean he's got solid stats for 50 points. If you don't give him a mark, then you might equip him with like Remaker or something like that, and have him like poison people. It's a cool strategy. I don't think it's like a competitive meta strategy, but it's really cool so far.
But I think the figure is just competitive on its own. Like it's just 6 clicks with good stats. Anything that has a 12 attack, I think is good. Shield TA is just one of the best team abilities in the game, and you can give it to the like. There's not many X-Men that have it. He seems fine. Yeah, but I don't think he's like game changing. I don't think he's like. Uh, I think he's just a good figure.
I agree. I think he's a good figure. I don't think he's game changing. I think that the thing that you can do where he doesn't have a mark, if you swap him in, is cool, but it's not really going to be game changing.
Yeah.
I think even if you don't swap him in, if you choose a mark at the beginning of the game, I think one of the best marks to choose for him is a Retaliator.
Hmm.
Because if you choose a Retaliator, and I know not a lot of people are playing Retal with these days, but if let's say you are going up against like I don't know what's
Giganta.
like
There's still Giganta's played.
or even like even like I guess the most common one would be Dark Phoenix, but like a good example would be like Fulcrum Abominus, because Fulcrum can't attack smaller characters. So
Right.
now even if your opponent moves Fulcrum like next to your Wolverine, that would be like a dumb move. you know.
Right. You want to select someone with colossal indifference so they can't. Yeah. So not even the target can attack. That makes sense.
Or you just select someone that your opponent would not want to become adjacent to Wolverine. You know,
Right.
their Scarab or their
Commissioner.
molecule man or commissioner or something like that. You select
That makes
that
sense.
figure, and then they have to move them adjacent in order for your Wolverine to be not get the first attack. I think it's cool. I think also you could equip a Wolverine with like the power gem. And then just or like the Waldo arms, and then like when he makes his attack, he's usually gonna attack somebody first before they get to attack him, and then you're getting like a free shot on them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he's fine. He's. I see a lot of playable stuff. I also think if you have your team set, you don't need to adjust to this set. Like if you're a Wolverine fan, that is a very playable Wolverine. If you just are looking to if you have your set animals team and want to keep playing the animals, I don't think you have to adjust a ton. There's nothing like this isn't as game changing as Wonder Woman 80 in my opinion.
No, Wonder Woman 80 was an amazing set. That was such a
Yeah.
good set. Empyre looks to be like a really fun set with some really cool pieces, but I don't know if they're going to be game changing.
I
Another
don't
piece.
think
Oh,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think you need to have sets as powerful as Wonder Woman 80. Like I don't think that's good for the game to keep having that. But this has some bangers in it.
What about this beast here, Chase Beast? Um, what are your thoughts on that one? So, have you seen this figure yet, or?
Yeah, so you have to keep it alive, which I think is just something that I I'm gonna have to see in play to see if I actually am able to keep it alive for it to do its thing. But the upside is insane. It is insane. You can just nullify. You can pretty much just nullify whole characters. Because you can. What is it? Yeah.
Outwit probability control. When Beast uses Outwit until the next turn, the chosen power can't be used by opposing characters if they are within 4 squares of Beast.
Right, and opposing characters within range can't use Safeguard, Outwit, or Protected Outwit. So anyone within range, and then if you have like that's as good as the Secret Six stuff.
Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, at top dial, I don't know if I might almost play him at top dial just for the 19 defend because he's 125 points. I don't. It's a lot of points to use just for a figure with, charged blades. But I don't know. It just seems like I would want to try that. He has a good 75 point dial too though. All right, let's see his 75 point dial. So he's got 18 defense. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
I am worried about keeping him alive at 75 points. So I think I agree with you of 125. And with the X-Men team ability, and giving them X-Men team ability out for free, I think you can heal him back up. Yeah, so I don't know. This is definitely one that needs practice because it doesn't plug into any of the existing archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
It would basically have to have a new one where you're like basically doing twin tent poles and trying to heal him up to top with the X-Men team ability.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could equip him with the bracelets. That would give him 4, 5, 6 super senses. And with the defend and invuln. I don't know. That gives him a little more protection.
Defend, super senses. And that's fine, yeah.
He's got super senses as a whole dial, so. And then with the healing, that's really good. But yeah, I mean, he's mainly a support character that's 125 points, you know.
Right.
You can't really deal. I mean, he does have charge blades with a 12 attack, so he's not a slouch. But I mean, he's not gonna win you a game with that just one attacker, and he's probably gonna be your main attacker.
No, but he could outwit a stop click on a Blackheart, which could win you the game.
Oh yeah,
because you can just start one shotting Blackhearts. So his upside is insane. It's yeah. This is one that's hard to see until we see it in play.
Yeah, and I think this will be a fun piece to build around and test out. Is this Chase Beast? He's got Mystics. He could be on a. He does have the Illuminati keyword, so he could be on a swap team too.
Well, he also has the X-Men team,
Oh, yeah,
and
he's got X-Men, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 different ways he can be swapped in.
So what do you think about the starter set, the Empyre starter set?
I just don't think it's as good as the other starter sets out there. I didn't think much of it, to be honest. I might buy it just for the maps, but I didn't think much of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Human Torch looked cool. That was about it, I think. But I mean, I'll still get it because you know the maps are there, and also the it's got the dice and it's got the new powers and abilities card and everything. So
right.
You know, I'll still get it, but I think definitely the Wonder Woman 80 was probably the best one, and then also
I agree.
The first one that came out was pretty decent too. The Captain America Battleground one, that one was pretty decent. I mean, if we look at the
cool set, so yeah, the set in general seems cool. There's a lot of little things, dazzlers and beasts and stuff. So it's not just the beast you were showing, but the other beast, the one that after he's carried, he can make an attack.
Okay. I don't know if is that a common or uncommon?
Might be a common. Well, okay. So let me clarify. If the wording is as I think it is, they might clarify that it's not supposed to be that. When Beast is, if no other friendly character has been placed this turn, after resolutions, he can make a close attack using his printed combat values. So no other character has been placed. So if he's placed multiple times during the turn, he should be able to get multiple close attacks, I believe.
Only if he's carried multiple times this turn.
Yeah. So if he's carried so if Sky Tyrant like runs in with him, makes the attack, then moves after making the attack, he can make another one. I don't know. It seems.
Yeah, you could carry him with like Chip, and then
and then sidestep carry with
Chip. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then you would have to carry no other characters. It would just have to be Chip carrying.
Right. Okay.
Or else. So, I mean, that has potential. That seems fine. If it's ruled that way, it could be that they're meaning if no character has been placed this turn, and you can only make one attack. If that's the case, then no, he's not meta at all.
Well, I mean, do you think? I mean, I don't know if that's. I think that's good, but you can still only get his damage up to a 3, right? Because
right.
Yeah. It's only 11. It's only 11-3 vanilla attack. But
yeah.
I mean, I still think it's good. You can get 2 attacks from him.
And then power's good. Yeah. This seems fine. So that seems like it could be a thing. Also, tons of keywords there.
Yeah. No, I love the keywords. I love the keywords, and I notice a trend in this set and also the last set, that they're adding a lot more keywords to the figures, and I think they're doing that because of the change to how theme teams are developed. So now they can give both types of keywords, and they don't have to worry about named or unnamed keywords because it's now it's all the same thing. So I think it's really cool that a lot of these characters now coming out have tons of keywords, and you can play them together on theme teams, which we both said that playing a theme team is just a fun thing to do in Heroclix. So
Right.
I think that's really cool. What about some of the upcoming other sets? Oh, by the way, if you're looking for there is a new change to the new rule book and to the powers and abilities card. So if viewers at home, if you are on the fence or thinking about getting the Empyre starter set and you want the most updated powers and abilities card and most updated rule book, you should definitely check out that starter set because it's going to be there. The updated rules and updated powers and abilities card. What about Eternals? Did you see the movie, The Eternals?
I have not seen the movie yet. I am slacking.
So, I mean, but what are your thoughts on like the figures? Are you excited for them? I mean, I'm sure you probably have a little bit more excitement once you see the movie, but like, I mean, I thought the movie was good. I don't want to give too many spoilers. I did see it, but
Right.
I didn't get the best reviews, like online, like what people have been saying about it. It wasn't a very long movie. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes, but I thought it was like, for me, I'm a big comic book fan. I liked it.
It made a ton of money. Wasn't it a huge hit? I don't know.
I mean, I think most of the Marvel movies when they come out, they make plenty of money. Like,
Okay, that's true. That's true. That it could just be the branding thing. Yeah, that's true.
but
Captain Marvel also made a lot of money, and then also had not the best reviews online.
Well, I liked Captain Marvel also. So I pretty much like I'm a little biased. I pretty much like all of them. So like I mean I like Thor: The Dark World. I think it's fine. Like like I think it's fine for me. Like I like almost every single Marvel movie. So asking me if I liked is probably a bad idea. But Eternals, like what are you expecting from that? Are you expecting like a really meta figure to come out of that gravity feed?
I mean, the last gravity feed we had was Black Widow, so that I do expect it because they just got this Disney deal, basically. No, they've had it for a while. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be some good stuff.
I do notice a trend with gravity feeds. I think I mean, at least the most recent ones. Like we had Black Widow. Black Widow was amazing. We had the Star Trek Resistance is Futile. We had Q Prime, and that was instant meta right there. That was like selling for like hundreds of dollars on third-party sites. And then
Yes.
what else? Did we have anything else that was really crazy good? I mean, the chase from Captain Marvel was not bad. That was a good chase. That was
Yeah, Captain Marvel had Phil Coulson and right. Yeah, that had Phil Coulson. I love that Phil Coulson. That Phil Coulson was great.
the 50.1 or the 75.1.
I mean, both of them were good, but the 75.0 one was the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
I use him all the time. Yeah, he was good.
So I mean, I kind of almost hope that there's not a extremely meta figure from the Eternals gravity feed, just so that it won't be so expensive. But I mean, obviously, if I pull one, that would be great. If I pull something really amazing, that would be great. But it's just sometimes it's not. Sometimes that doesn't happen. What about the Disney Plus set? Is there anything that you are hoping to see in the Disney Plus set? That's
Oh
coming
man,
out.
so
I think that's
much.
coming
I
out
mean,
next year sometime.
right? Yeah. Oh, so hard to. I mean, like, I'm not even sure what. Do we know even which series they're doing for it? We don't know much about it, do we?
From what I could tell, it's like a mix of different things. I think they did show an alligator Loki, like there is an alligator Loki figure. Um, but I think they're basing it like the dice, the logo on the dice are going to be Uatu, so a lot of it is going to be from the What If cartoon series. Um, and I think they're pulling from a little bit from everything. You know,
I want Secret Identity Agatha Harkness. That's what I want. I want. Oh, the spoilers have the statute of limitation for spoilers is gone, but like, yeah, I would love to see the Secret Identity mechanic. I love the Secret Identity mechanic, and I think it would work great for the WandaVision because they're all pretending to be normal people, and then they turn into, you know.
oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, if they had like a black and white sculpt, and then like a secret
Yeah.
identity sculpt that was like the color version, like of who they really are.
Ooh, yeah. They used to do those black and white sketch variants. Yeah, you could definitely do something with that. Uh, and then the variants from Loki, I think was you could do all kinds of things with that.
Yeah, I think the obvious thing there would be like a shifting focus or something like that.
Right.
But you could also just have individual characters. You know, they are each. You know, you have plenty of material there to do like a full set, because this is actually Disney Plus set is going to be a full set. It's not a gravity feed. I think it's a full set.
Right.
So they're going to have, 70 slots to for different characters.
And I want a jet ski.
Oh,
A jet ski, right?
yeah. Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, and his jet ski. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, jet ski.
Give someone the dolphin ability or something. Jet skis. I don't know.
Oh, I think they actually previewed also an equipment. There's going to be equipment in the Disney Plus set.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. I think
Could get a
one of the
Dark Pole?
equipments that they showed the sculpt for was the Captain America's shield.
Makes sense.
And I almost want that to just say leadership, like just give somebody leadership for like 10 points or something like that.
That seems fine.
Yeah, right? That's pretty good, right?
Leadership seems fine. I mean, the other one gave ESD, didn't it? No, that was the Asgardian shield. That's not Cap's shield. That's something else. Yeah, seems fine.
So, without giving any spoilers, what would you say is your favorite Disney Plus series?
WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision was really good. Yeah, I think I like them all, but I still go back to WandaVision as being the most memorable one of them all, I think. I mean, Loki was good with the science fiction element. Captain America and Winter Soldier was good. But I think WandaVision takes it, And then also I'm really excited for Hawkeye now, because I'm a big Hawkeye kind of like fanboy. I love Hawkeye. But I like the I love that figure from ADW, that Hawkeye chase figure. I mean, I realize it's kind of overpowered, but I just love the sculpt, and I love that character from the comics, the Matt Fraction Hawkeye. So
it is a really cool figure. Yeah.
So I'm excited for the series. It just came out Wednesday. So, all right, Paul. Thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you for joining me and talking Heroclix with me on Coffee and Clicks. To all the viewers at home, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I really appreciate it. Check me out on Facebook as well. If there's a Linktree link in the description of this video, so you can click on that Linktree and you'll be directed to all different things like Facebook and Discord. And don't forget, everybody, to wake up and smell the clicks.